Yo, 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 what is going on, my fellow wrestling fans? Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of Champions, where we dive headfirst into all the controversies, storylines, personalities, and everything in between that center around this world we know and love as professional wrestling. For better or worse, I'm your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka Kurt GPT, the moral conscience of America, in the flesh as always. And my co host needs no introduction, but the hell with it. He's going to give y'all one anyway.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jonathan Randall, your tag team partner, the Avenger himself. And welcome to another edition of our soap opera that we love to call professional wrestling. Boy, we had one heck of a weekend and literally the week. I know you did, Kurt. And Kurt, you were having a lot of fun down in South Beach for your high school reunion. And it looked fun, man. Tell us all about it.
Well, actually, technically, I was only in Miami for about a day and a half. I went there from like
Oh,
Saturday afternoon to Sunday night. I did my high school reunion that Friday before in Fort Lauderdale because I mainly stayed in Fort Lauderdale on the beach. And I have to say, this is one of the best vacations I've had in years. And considering that I hadn't had a real vacation in almost 2 years and a real like proper trip to South Florida and longer than that, it was definitely needed and it definitely made up for a lot of lost time. Holy shit.
that's good, man. That's good, to you know, have some vacation time. Like it says on my Instagram bio, make your life an adventure. That's what it's all about, man. You got to make your life an adventure. You got to make things fun. Venture out, see places, and just do you. And you look like you're having fun. Look like you're having a lot of fun at this place you're telling me about called Club Space. And you didn't get home not till like what 10 in the morning. Beats
Yes,
my record.
let me dive into that. Yes, I went back to Club Space for the first time since 2011. I used to go to that club a lot back when I lived in Florida before, but I haven't been back since. And yeah, my best friend had never been there, so I wanted to show him, what it was all about. I took him there, and he was definitely blown the fuck away by it. And yeah, we had a blast, man. We got there like around 3 in the morning with another friend of ours from high school. We got there, yeah, like around 3 in the morning, and they left a little earlier than I did, but I did not leave that club until 11 in the morning.
Damn.
Yeah, when I walked out of that club, like after being in that club for 8 hours, like when I walked out of that club and it was like broad daylight, and like it just hit me like right when I walked out, I'm like, yo, that was one long ass night slash morning, but
Wow.
damn, it was worth it.
Did you like what happened afterwards? I don't know. Did you go back to your hotel, get some sleep, get some good to eat, or
Well, the thing was, like, when I was in Miami, I was staying at my best friend's Airbnb because I was staying in Fort Lauderdale, which was about an hour away from Miami Beach, and he had his place like on like a block away from Nikki Beach, which is on South Beach. And yeah, so he met someone and he went to hang out with her there, which is why I stayed at the club a little longer. Then I came back and then I like dozed off on the couch there for like a little bit. Then after that, I just went to the beach and like chilled for a few hours. I actually had a nice nap on the beach too. The one thing
oh,
about the trip that was yeah, the one thing about the trip that was a bit of a letdown was the fact that it rained for like at least half the trip. So in
mm.
all, even though I stayed on the beach, like my hotel was on the beach, I only got 2 full beach days the entire trip.
Well, that's good though. I mean, at least you were at the beach. And
Yeah,
how was the reunion though?
To be honest, the reunion wasn't even like that major part of the trip. We were mainly going just to like have fun and party and do our thing, and the reunion was like more of like an appetizer. But yeah, the reunion was cool. We had it at like some bar, and they had a pretty decent turnout. They actually brought back the old yearbooks from high school, which I got a huge kick out of. Like you saw me post my senior picture like on my
I
Instagram
saw
story
that.
the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw that.
so yeah, it was cool to see a lot of familiar faces and whatnot. But the thing is, I kind of learned from the reunion is that my best friend Elle and I, we are way bigger party animals even at this stage in our lives than most of our high school friends are.
It's really funny how like a lot could change like from high school till now because it's like you're a completely different person back then than you were now, and it's I mean, like for me personally, like I wasn't like the party person back then in high school because I didn't know anybody that did that stuff or hung out with anybody that did that. And then it's funny how like years after high school, now I was the person who was like that party animal or whatever, and I didn't do that during high school. So it's kind of funny how that timeline is a difference as far as
I mean,
personality.
fair enough. A lot. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. A lot of them are married and have kids, so I get
Yeah.
that. But just in general, like, yeah, this is the most I've been like into going out, clubbing, partying. It's probably like the last year or so. I kind of fell out of it for a few years. Like even when I lived in Vegas, I wasn't heavy into it. But
Hmm.
now, yeah, like I gotta go out every weekend. I don't know what it is, but I
I
gotta go out.
What
I
the
gotta
hell
be
is
out.
going on? I feel like we switched or something like that because I was once like that. Um, quick question: like, what kind of music did they play over there at Club Space, or was it
It was
known for that?
EDM.
Ah, okay. Is it like just
It
certain
was
nights,
main.
just in general?
It was mainly EDM. I think when I was there before, like years ago, they had like another hip hop room, but they didn't really have that this time. And then there was
Hmm.
like a downstairs room. There was a downstairs room that like had that was like playing hard rock and like doing a bunch of mosh pits. That wasn't really the
Hmm.
vibe we were looking for, so we jetted out of there real fast. But
Hmm.
yeah, but like the main room was EDM. They had like fog machines. Yeah, it was, and you could see the roof, and you could like see the sky from the top of it because it's at the very top of the roof, so you could like see the sky. Like when it went from like nighttime to daytime, yeah, it was pretty trippy.
Yeah, it looked like one of those clubs you see in Vegas on the Strip.
Yeah, it's one of the most famous clubs I think in Miami. I think it's definitely in that mix.
I see. Hmm.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I've been back for 3 days, but I'm feeling very my homesick when it comes to Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
You know what? I feel where you're coming from. This is not just a Miami thing. I think this is like a travel thing. It's like the one of the worst feelings in the world. Is like you're getting excited for the trip. You're enjoying yourself, and the worst feeling is ever when it's over. And then when it's over, you're
Yeah,
looking back at it, and you're like, "Damn!" Trust me. I've been through that before. It's one of the worst feelings ever. It's like it goes by so fast. You know what I mean? I get
yeah,
it.
and especially considering that I grew up down there, I have a lot of roots down there. Like I feel that even stronger, and I've
Hmm.
just been saying to myself ever since I left, like, damn, I want to go back. I really want to go back,
I think it's
and
something
I
you're gonna go
will.
back later.
And I think I'm gonna go back actually for my birthday in March for Ultra. Ultra is like
Hmm.
a big EDM electronic music festival they do every year. They've been doing it actually every year since 1998, and I never went to one for whatever reason. But I think
Interesting.
since it's gonna be my 40th, since it's gonna be my 40th birthday this year, I think I need to go to this one.
Interesting.
And you know what's crazy? I looked up the tickets for this festival.
Hmm.
The tickets for like all 3 days are still
Yeah.
cheaper than a ticket would be for WrestleMania.
You gotta be kidding.
I'm
Okay.
dead
Okay.
ass.
Kind of similar. You remember Life is Beautiful, right?
Yeah, I always wanted to go. I wanted to go to that. I wanted to go to
Oh,
EDC, but it never really panned out.
yeah. I'll tell you this because just like 3 days, like with Ultra, right? If I remember correctly, the first year that I went for all 3 days, it was about like around $300 cheaper than going to WrestleMania. So that for 3 days, Kurt, it's a
Yeah,
good that's a good grab, but that shows you how embarrassing where wrestling is at when it comes to their ticket pricing. Embarrassing.
yeah. So I think I'm going to Ultra this year instead of WrestleMania. I think I'll have a better time and get more
I
bang
feel
for
you.
my buck for that matter.
Feel you. I'm still not thinking about WrestleMania next year, man. I'm trying to think about other things. Maybe I'll look into it like around March, see where I'm at. But as of right now, that's like the last thing on my mind, honestly.
Yeah. So I have the option going to WrestleMania, paying an arm and a leg for it for a show that might be good or it might suck, or
Mm,
going to Miami for this big electronic music festival where we're gonna be outside during springtime
three
in
days.
Miami, which is the best time. Yeah, 3 days during springtime, which is the best time of the year to be out there with electronic music, cool ass people from all over the world, a lot of pretty ass girls I could talk to, and possibly go home with afterwards, but that's another story. So between WrestleMania and that, I think I'm choosing that.
Yeah, I feel you. And
All right, but
and
all right, go ahead.
yeah, I think anybody with common sense will pick that one over WrestleMania. I mean, come on, yeah.
But speaking of wrestling, while I was in Florida for my trip, I did get the chance to watch Crown Jewel in my hotel room Saturday morning. I actually watched it very early, like right when it started, because I knew I was going to be busy, so I had to knock it out as soon as it came on. So yes, we did have Crown Jewel this past Saturday from Perth, Australia. It did start at 8 in the morning my time, and I was up at right at that time to watch it. And to open the show, we had the Australian street fight, or basically a street fight because there was nothing really different about it compared to other street
Mm,
fights between
yeah.
Roman Reigns and Big Bronson Reed, the tribal thief.
And boy, did this match. It was the outcome of the match that really surprised us all because we did not see this coming, and also the aftermath of the match as well. Pretty decent match, just like their match at a Clash in Paris. But Kurt, take it away. What was your thoughts on this match?
The match was fine. It was a standard WWE street fight. It was cool for what it was, but it really spiced up when Bron Breakker came through and speared Roman Reigns, and then him and Bronson Reed double teamed him, and that brought out Jimmy and Jey Uso to come to Roman Reigns' rescue. And they were fighting off Reed and Breakker, but over time they were overpowered by them. And then a miscommunication led to Jey Uso accidentally spearing Roman Reigns through a table that was up against the turnbuckle, and that led to Bronson Reed laying out Roman Reigns with a tsunami, and that was all she wrote. Bronson Reed defeated Roman Reigns in his home continent of Australia, and that is hands down the biggest win of his career.
A win that what really solidified him as like this is a serious guy, and this was a win that he needed. Surprisingly, look, we did not pick him to win, but he got the W. But the biggest story was after the match. So Roman was just not happy about the Usos and their involvement in the match, pretty much telling them like, "You guys are screwing this up. You guys are not listening to me. I love you guys, but I don't want to see you not till Christmas." Damn. No
And only
Thanksgiving,
if they have
Kurt.
presence.
Nope. Forget the presents. No, they're not going to see each other not on Thanksgiving. Wow.
Yeah, Roman's not having it. He was saying that people can't, like, people don't think he could win on his own. People don't think they could do it on that he could do it on his own. And the Usos just proved that by getting involved again. So yeah, he's had it. He's not trying to see them until Christmas time unless they have presents or something to make up for what the fuck they did here. And yeah, it's a whole family ugly situation right now, which I can relate to. So yeah, the Bloodline saga is back and in full effect on WWE TV. It's getting spicy, it's getting dramatic, but I fucking love it.
You know what? I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier about how like him wanting to win on his own. That's funny how you mentioned that because look, during his title run, Roman was in his title defenses was known for retaining his titles, getting help from the bloodline a lot, and he was criticized about
Yeah.
that a lot. So it's funny that you brought that up and him trying to prove to himself, but to everybody else that I want to do this on my own, win on my own. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of a different Roman Reigns now, and it's kind of like a weird dynamic now where like everybody's acting a little heelish, everybody's like not on the same page. Like
Yeah.
Roman's not cool with the Usos are not cool with each other because they were arguing after that all went down, and like even Jay was saying that Roman never changes. So yeah, like I do like the fact that like the bloodline story is like a part of the show again, like in a major part of the show again. And yeah, it's kind of like teasing all this dissension of like you're not sure like if they're gonna eventually make up or if it's gonna lead to one of them turning on the other. But I like it. I like the uncertainty and like the unpredictability surrounding it
Hmm.
now. It's been something that's been missing from the show for a while, and I'm glad that they have that back.
Yeah, and look, even though Roman said he doesn't want to see them not till Christmas, listen, we still have Survivor Series on the horizon. That has
And
a lot of
please, bro,
questions going on.
he's gonna see them a lot sooner before Christmas. We all
Yeah,
know it.
I know. He was like, "Wait a minute, you're skipping. Wait, we got Survivor Series coming up, which is after Thanksgiving, right? But still, though, you're skipping over Thanksgiving. I'm like, damn. So where are you? Where the Usos? I mean, come on, the Usos gonna have Thanksgiving probably at their own house, though. But that's probably not the norm. You know what I mean? I know somebody within the family is going to have the biggest get together. So that I thought, like, damn, you're going to skip over Thanksgiving, huh? Shoot.
Maybe one of them will go to a restaurant instead.
No, that's even worse. That's the worst feeling ever. Oh my God.
Going to a
Woo.
restaurant on Thanksgiving.
That's the worst. Oh God. Oh,
Imagine working in a restaurant on Thanksgiving.
oh, don't get me started. That's the worst. I get it. I get it. If you were out of town and you weren't able to see your family, that's different though. But if you're in town with family, you had to go to a restaurant. Oh, that's the worst feeling ever, man.
I'm sure there are worse feelings, like the feeling Roman got when he got hit with that tsunami by Bronson Reed. But yeah, this is a big, gigantic win for Reed. I know
Yeah.
Roman will eventually beat him at some point when they face each other again. But yo, Roman lost nothing by losing to Reed here. Roman's
No.
fine.
Bronson Reed, and let's like we've been talking about Roman a lot, but like, yeah, like Bronson Reed, this is a win that he needed, like I said earlier. Like he's part of the vision. He's learning under Seth Rollins, so it wouldn't seem right if he didn't win. You know what I mean? Because if he didn't win, it's like, what's the whole point of him being there for? You know what I mean?
And now he's only the second person in over 5 years to beat Roman Reigns in a singles match.
Yeah,
The
him
only
and Cody
person who's
Rhodes.
defeated, yeah, him and Cody, the only two people who've defeated Roman in singles matches in the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Madness. But yes, that
Yeah.
is a win for Bronson Reed. And we're on to the next match for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. We had Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer taking on WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton.
And this is a pretty decent match. Good matchup between the two. And like I said, I picked Stephanie Vaquer to win this match. It was a match that she needed to win because of the momentum that she had after winning the women's world title recently, and she pulled it off.
Yes, after Tiffany Stratton missed the prettiest moonsault ever, Stephanie Vaquer took advantage of this and hit the corkscrew onto Tiffany Stratton. And yo, that was a nasty landing. Yo, she got her
Mm.
like really hard in the chest with that move. But considering that, that was all she wrote. So Stephanie Vaquer picked up the win and won the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. It was a nice celebration. She was very emotional, obviously. Triple H came out to give her the ring and put the championship belt around her waist. I saw a bunch of funny ass memes about this, like online throughout the day afterwards, of like Triple H handing her the ring, and it says in the meme, "Once she looks so good that you need to propose to her on the spot."
You know, what's the coolest thing about her? The more and more I'm hearing about her, I'm hearing a lot of her upbringing and her stories. You know, getting into the
Yeah.
business. Like today, just before we went on the air, I was hearing about how she sold hot dogs when she was like 14 and to get a ticket to a WWE event. I'm just like, wow, you know what I mean? And she just really loves the business and just so much that she was willing to do to get in the spot. I have dude, this whole women's division is just so stacked. And
Yes, it is.
the more and more they come, the more and more I'm having more favorites now. It's like first it was like, you know, Rhea Ripley, and then earlier this year I was really high on EO Sky, and then Tiffany Stratton, now Stephanie Vaquer, and quite possibly
Becky
next year is
Lynch.
yeah, Becky Lynch, and quite possibly and Roxanne Perez. I really starting to love. I was really loving Roxanne Perez. You know what I mean? So and quite possibly there's going to be another one next year that I'm really going to be high on. So yeah, I'm really loving the Stephanie Vaquer vibe right now. So
Yeah, and with this win, she became the first woman to win four titles in WWE within 1 year.
oh yeah, like look, I know earlier our past few episodes I've been saying Becky Lynch this is her year, but you know what, I have to go back on it, change my mind, because this year has been Stephanie Vaquer's year with the accomplishments that she's been doing as of this year. This has been her year. I have
Yeah,
to admit
she's a
it.
fair pick. I personally go with Io Sky, but Vicaire is also a fair pick.
I mean,
Just don't tell just
I
don't say
would,
anything to go ahead.
well, don't say what, a Becky.
No, don't say anything to Mercedes Monet, especially from how she responded to
Oh
Dave Meltzer
God,
last night.
that gold hog. Let's just say
Yeah, she has
anyway.
10 belts now.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gold hog. But anyway, I would say Io Sky Kurt though, but the thing is though, like she has so much momentum going into WrestleMania and a little bit after that it's not her fault that she just wasn't booked properly afterwards. That's kind of like she kind of fell off a little bit. But that's kind of like I'm with Stephanie for a little bit though. I want to say Io Sky, but kind of fell off the grid a little bit after WrestleMania.
I get it, but Stephanie Vecchia is definitely on a hot streak right now. Now the women's crown jewel champion, doing big things. I'm really happy to see it, and yeah, it was an impressive win for her. And I was gonna say arguably, but I don't think there's any argument you can make to this. And what
Mm.
was the match of the night? We had for the very
Mm-hmm.
last time John Cena against AJ Styles. And I
And
love the
AJ,
fact that AJ Styles came out in his old TNA gear with the shorts. Yo, it
yes,
looked dope. Yeah,
have
that
not
really threw me off
seen
that he
that
wrote that.
20 years. I was like, oh my god, like that's how I discovered AJ Styles was through through TNA. It'll be even
Me
crazier
too.
if he cut his hair though. That I would have been like, oh my god, like it's back. It would have been
Nah,
crazy
he's
if he
not
cut
doing.
his hair, huh?
Nah, he's not doing all that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
did like the fact. I did like the fact that John Cena gave the ring announcer like a special introduction to do for AJ Styles, talking about like how he's come to Perth to see if he could beat up John Cena one final time, and he's total nonstop action. Yeah, I like that he did that for Styles.
yeah. But other than that
And
though, the match. Oh, but I'm sorry. Even before the match, even during the event, Kurt, I don't know if you caught notice of this. It felt like Crown Jewel Perth was a playoff game because mostly majority of the fans in that arena was wearing yellow John Cena t-shirts. It felt like we were watching the NBA or the NHL playoff game.
yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, there was John Cena shirts out the ass. It felt like the Miami Heat playoff games, like when they were all white, or the Knicks games when they were all blue and orange.
Yeah, crazy,
Yeah,
but
funny enough.
I like it though.
Yeah, funny enough, Club Space where I went to is like 3 blocks away from where the Heat play, the AAA. I still call it that.
Really? Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah, it's
didn't
like
know
three
that.
blocks
That's
away.
interesting.
All right,
Interesting.
but anyway, yeah. So John Cena and AJ Styles had the match, and yo, the one thing I loved about this match that really stood out was all the callback moves they were doing throughout it. How like
Yes.
AJ Styles did like moves, doing tributes to Samoa Joe, and John
Hmm.
Cena did like the skull crushing finale. He did the Walls of Jericho. He
Yep.
also did the Sister Abigail from Bray Wyatt. That was great. Yo, I loved
The
when he did
crowd
that,
went
especially the
crazy over
reversal.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, especially the reversal that he did to do that move. Like when he caught AJ when he did the phenomenal forearm attempt and then just did the Sister Abigail. Beautiful shit, son.
And then the crowd after that reacted beautifully because they all took their phones out and waving their lights in the air and the fireflies, pretty much the meaning behind that for Bray Wyatt. That was very emotional and epic. But AJ Styles doing a sweet chin music, that was out of nowhere. Was not expecting that. And when you're looking at these two wrestlers doing their moves, you felt like this match is never gonna end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it went about 27 minutes.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, John Cena hit AJ Styles with a tombstone, and then he picked AJ Styles back up and hit him with the FU. Yes, I still call it the FU. And he
Same.
pinned AJ Styles to win the match and their final outing against each other. But damn, what a way for them to go out.
Hugged it out like they should have, like true sportsmen. And John Cena put the four fingers up, letting everybody know that four dates are left. But back to the match. This match was beautiful. You could say two things. You could say match of the year, easily John Cena's best match this year.
Between this one and the Cody one, yeah, it's between those two.
Yes. From SummerSlam. Let's
SummerSlam
not forget.
Cody won, not the
Yeah,
WrestleMania one.
yeah. Let's not confuse our viewers now because they're going to be like, "Wait a minute, which one now?" You don't want to stupid. You
They
don't want to.
probably know, but just in
Yeah, I
case.
know, but I could have been like, "Yeah, the one from WrestleMania." But no.
Oh, and I had a question for you. Are you going to be attending one of John Cena's last appearances?
So I really wanted to go to Survivor Series this year. I don't know. Um, I just don't know, man. There's just a lot going on. I really have my hearts. I really want to go to Survivor Series in San Diego for my birthday, though. But I don't know yet. But um, man, if I would have, I mean, if I would have still went to WrestleMania, then yeah, that means I would have seen Cena already on his tour. But I don't know yet. But we'll see what happens.
I'm grateful I got to see him at SummerSlam and for the match to be as great as it was. I'm considering going to the Raw at the Garden in a few weeks that he has his last appearance at the Garden at. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy. Only 4 dates left. And I'm just
too
so happy that he
fast.
turned baby. Yeah, it has gone by fast. I'm just so happy that he turned babyface, and this leg of the retirement tour has been a lot better compared to what it was earlier in the year. I know we've had our thoughts about the heel turn and how it all turned out, but at least we're getting the stuff that's as good as it's been lately now. At least we're getting that.
I'm looking back at it, and I'm just looking back how fast, how fast and how much things could happen and change within a year. Like you had the Royal Rumble, and then him that 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 press conference about how he's going to go to to Elimination Chamber and win and go to WrestleMania. Then there was the heel turn. Then the build up between him and Cody, and then he's the champion, and just and now this. It's just is really crazy how like fast this year has went by, and
Yeah.
it I don't know. Four more dates left, Kurt.
Yeah, it's definitely gone by fast, but I feel like this latter part of the year is looking really promising.
Yeah, I mean, ever since pretty much during the summer, it got better. The build up between him and Cody going to SummerSlam was better. The match delivered. He turned babyface. Um, he had a great match with Logan Paul. I know it was a
Yes, it
bummer
did.
let down against Brock Lesnar though, but he redeemed himself with this match against AJ Styles, and there's no telling. Oh my god, I'm just a really what I'm I'm wondering what they're gonna do for Survivor Series. I was hearing rumors that they may do John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio for the IC title. Maybe that's just a rumor though, but
It would make sense. It's Dominic's hometown. It's a
Mhm.
huge marquee match. Yeah, why not?
And John Cena's never won that title.
That's true too.
Yeah.
But it's really hard, especially considering the reactions he's been getting lately. Who's gonna get cheered more in that match?
It's gonna probably be
Yo,
50-50.
yeah, those fans love them
Woo!
some Dominic, son.
I do too. Especially I love what they're doing with him and Rusev. I love it.
And Penta too.
Yeah, I love it. This is dude, like they need to split up Judgment Day because everybody is like I
It's
feel
not
like
gonna happen. It's not gonna
When
happen.
Liv Morgan comes back, right? Of course there's gonna be tension. But look, you already could tell one of them is already just doing his own thing, and that's Dominic. He's the IC champion. He's the AAA luchador champion. You know what I mean? He's just doing his own thing, and he already has the crowd with him and all that. And it's just, I feels like, what does he need Judgment Day for?
Yeah, but I mean, we've been teasing the whole Judgment Day breakup for a while, but I
Oh
mean, we'll
yeah.
cross that bridge when we get to it. But let's get back to Cena and AJ real fast. Yeah, you weren't sure what to expect with this being their last match together and with both of them on the verge of retirement. But yeah, they definitely gave us something we're going to remember for a long
Mhm.
time. This is
Yeah.
definitely a match of the year candidate. Definitely a great way for these two to end their long feud, a great feud that had so many great classic matches in the past. And yeah, not enough good things you could say about what they did in Perth last Saturday. Yeah, it was some beautiful stuff. And AJ did confirm at the press conference on the Friday before Crown Jewel that he will be retiring in 2026. We don't know exactly when he'll be retiring. I don't know if they're going to do a retirement tour, like just a big retirement match. But yeah, this is going to be the end for AJ coming up soon.
I would love to see him have just one more WrestleMania match under his belt.
Yeah, I think it'll be probably like WrestleMania will be maybe his retirement or maybe a little while after. But I think he'll definitely be at WrestleMania, even though his contract, I think, expires before that.
Hmm. See
But
what
only
happens.
time will tell. But
Yep.
only time will tell. But regardless, he definitely gave us a match that we are never going to forget. And yeah, beautiful stuff between these two. Definitely the highlight of the whole show. And next up, we had the home continent hero, Rhea Ripley, making her homecoming, spending her first birthday in Perth, Australia. I'm sorry, in Australia, period, in 9 years, she said,
Hmm.
teaming up with Io Sky to take on the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane.
Poor Kyrie Zane. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah. Yeah, Asuka's on some like Griselda Blanco type shit.
Oh, for real.
Straight up.
Just caught in the
So
wildfire. Just Kyrie Zane.
yeah, so this was a good match. This was a good solid tag team match. It ultimately climaxed when Asuka was about to get hit with the riptide from the top rope by Rhea, but then Kyrie tagged herself in and then pulled Asuka out of the way. And then Rhea was gonna hit Asuka when she was standing on the apron, and then Kyrie moved her out of the way and took the hit instead. And that led to Kyrie being hit with the riptide by Rhea. And then Rhea tagged in Io, and Io hit the over the moonsault onto Kyrie, her former BFF, and that gave Rhea Ripley and Io Sky the win, predictably so.
Yeah, as we both pick in our prediction show last week. Um yeah, I mean, come on, it was a homecoming for Rhea Ripley. It was her birthday. There's no surprise here. But we know that the feud is not over, which we'll get into later. So
Yeah, Rhea and Io picked up the win. It was great to see them team up in this setting against Asuka and Kyrie with the great story they had going into it. And yeah, there was no surprise that they won considering those circumstances. Io even brought Rhea a birthday cake backstage and they sang happy birthday for her. They had like a whole
Hmm.
thing. They did the Io Sky Fly and all that good stuff. Yeah, they were having a good ass time. All right, so yes, Rhea and Io were your winners. And in the main event for the Crown Jewel Championship, we had Cody Rhodes, the WWE Champion, going one on one with Seth freaking Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion.
This was actually a pretty good match. Very good match. The spots in this match was like, whoa. My
Yo, but what was up
favorite.
with Seth Rollins picking on Michael Cole like at one point during the match? What was up with that shit?
I mean, come on. It's typical heel stuff. I mean, look, you got to remember Seth Rollins, despite him being a heel, and he does his best on trying to provoke the fans and say mean stuff to them, the fans are still singing along with his music regardless. As a
And he
heel,
encourages it. Of course they do. He encourages it.
right. So as a heel, you have to do this stuff. You just have to, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm not surprised to see it. Was I a bit like, whoa, like is it something that Seth usually does? No. But as a heel, this is something you have to do. So not just Michael Cole, but also Wade Barrett too. So I was like, woof, okay. But Cody got in the middle of it and stopped it, thank God. But yeah, as a heel, this
Good.
is stuff that you have to do. But like when I was relating just now was the spots in his match. Seth Rollins doing the coast to coast headbutt. Whoa.
That was
I
rough.
didn't even
And apparently he might have hurt himself when he did that spot.
it looked like he was a little bit banged up after that. I got a little concerned, but I did not know what he was going to do prior to that. I knew he was going to do like okay, he's going to do coast to coast. He's going to use his feet or what is he doing? But he did a headbutt and I was like, what? Like, damn.
Yo, that was gnarly. That was gnarly, son.
Yeah. Yep.
But Cody eventually rebounded. Cody rebounded in the match, and he even hit a crossroads to Rollins from the top rope.
And
But
he's
it
still
wasn't
kicked
enough.
out. Still kicked out.
The hell?
Yeah.
I kind of wish he beat Roman that way for the title at WrestleMania last year.
Oh my god. You imagine the crowd would have went completely ape shit if that happened. Jesus.
Yes, yes, they
Whoa.
would have. And then as the referee was knocked down, Cody tried to go for the crossroads again, but Seth Rollins while this is all going on, had grabbed the watch that Cody gave him as a gift after WrestleMania 40 and hit Cody with it. And hit Cody with it while the referee was down. And then
Yeah.
he proceeded to hit Cody with a curb stomp. And then he hit Cody with another curb stomp from the second rope this time. And that was all she wrote. Seth Rollins finally defeats Cody Rhodes and wins the Crown Jewel Championship.
Finally silenced his demons and now proclaims himself as the greatest of all time, greatest in the world. Triple H presents him with the Crown Jewel Championship belt and a ring. And yeah, and that was all she wrote. It was a little bit weird seeing, and then Stephanie Valkyrie got back in the ring too. A little bit weird to see, both of them in the ring at the same time because it was like the heel was in there, but Stephanie's the baby face. I don't know. I thought maybe I'm looking more
They did
into
the
it.
same
But all
thing.
right.
They did the same thing last year with Cody and Liv Morgan.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, but this was a outcome that we pretty much predicted. I mean, with
Yeah.
the story they were telling going into it, there was no way that Seth Rollins could lose to Cody again, and he did not. So yeah, it was a good match. Some people think it was maybe a little too long, but I still think it was good and delivered
Oh,
the right outcome. A lot of impressive spots, and Seth Rollins got the win. And he seemed
whoa.
very humble in his acceptance speech. All the crap he was talking afterwards.
Yeah. And, oh, let's not forget, earlier that night, Seth literally told everybody, he's like, I'm doing this on my own. Told Division, I'm doing this on my own. So that's another, you could give props to Seth for doing that. Most wrestlers or heels won't do that, but when you're trying to prove something to yourself, you usually like, nah, I need to prove this to myself and do this on my own. This is kind of similar to when Hulk Hogan back in WrestleMania 18 told the NWO, I was like, guys, I don't need your help. I need to do this on my own. So
Yeah, but only this time Rollins won, even though he kind of cheated. He still won without any help from
true, yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that was
That's
Crown
it.
Jewel 2025 in full effect. Solid show, definitely a lot better than WrestlePalooza was. One of the
I
better
agree.
PLEs of this year. And I got to say, overall, it delivered.
I do it. Same here too. I thought it was way better than WrestlePalooza. ESPN even gave it a better grade this time than WrestlePalooza. They gave it like a B minus. And some people, know how we were complaining about how like, oh, well, not us though, but some fans were complaining that ESPN, doesn't need to be doing this and blah blah blah. Look, if just like you said last time, if WWE is gonna let ESPN cover their events or broadcast their events, yeah, they have a right to say what they need to say about their events. And also, another thing, you may not hit this, but the grade that they gave WrestlePalooza, right? This may pretty much motivated, put a fire under WWE to produce a better show.
Yeah, and I have to be honest, from Raw, even SmackDown to most recently Crown Jewel, the product has been better lately. The last few weeks, I gotta be honest, have been a big improvement compared to the last few months before that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into one of those major improvements right now, as the following Monday on Raw, they were also live from Perth, Australia. Started at 8 in the morning again. I couldn't watch it live because I had to travel back to New York, so I had to watch it when I got back. And the show opened with Seth Rollins in the Vision, and Seth Rollins basically feeling himself a little too much, said that he never needed anybody to gain the success that he has now, which includes Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman, and Bron Breakker.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. You're kind of hyping up, so you're kind of like lifting them up, but kind of bringing them down a little bit. I was paying close attention to that. I was kind of like,
This is reminding me of the way Tony Montana treated Manolo, like in the latter part of Scarface.
oh, that was
Yeah, he
messed
became
up.
such an asshole. He became such an asshole in that latter part of the movie. I've been like on a big Miami kick ever since I got back. So I've been watching like Miami themed things. So that one of those things is Scarface. And yeah, he
Yeah,
became such an asshole in that latter part of the movie.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is what Seth Rollins is reminding me of. He's like really like feeling himself a little too much, like saying that he achieved everything on his own. He didn't need a stable's help. He didn't need a manager's help. None of that shit. And this would all come back to bite him in the ass by the end of the show. So
Mm-hmm.
later in the night, there was a triple threat match to decide the number one contender for his championship. Seth Rollins' championship between CM Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso. And the match was ultimately won by CM Punk. So CM Punk is now the new number one contender for the World Heavyweight title. And then after the match, Bron Breakker came out and speared LA Knight and Jey Uso outside the ring. And then Breakker, Reed, Rollins, and Heyman surrounded the ring. And then they all attacked Punk afterwards. And then they threw him out of the ring. And then the show looked like it was over, and the whole vision were like raising each other's hands. And they even put the copyright box on the screen and everything. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Bron Breakker spears Seth Rollins out of his
Yeah.
goofy ass outfit.
And just everybody's reaction was just speechless. Paul Heyman's face was speechless. I was. I know you were. And even Bronson Reed even pursued to do a tsunami on Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman's still surprised. And then he lifts up both Bron Breakker's and Bronson Reed's hands up in the air, and the show finally went off the air. I'm
As
just,
Bron Breakker as Bron Breakker held up the title during that too, which is
yeah,
also very noticeable.
yeah. So I'm asking myself, number one, okay, I kind of knew that something like this is bound to happen, but not this soon. And was it necessary? Those are my questions going in. That was my questions right after. I don't know about
Yeah,
you.
because they kind of yeah, they even teased a little bit of it during Crown Jewel, like in that backstage segment where Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker were talking about what happens if Seth loses, what happens if he loses. And they said, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And then Rollins ended up winning. And then Rollins said what he said at the beginning of the show, how he didn't need anybody. And going back to watch that segment, you could definitely tell the look on Breakker and Reed's like faces when he said that. They definitely
Yeah.
looked like they were not happy with that. And then
Mm,
backstage, even before this happened, Rollins told like Reed and Breakker like the most proud thing he is of like in his life, next to like his daughter being born and like marrying his wife, was seeing like the growth of the two of them ever since he started leading them. And then right after all that, they turned on him.
yeah. This is just shocking. And then when you look back and you look at the reports, this all has to do with his injury. Seth Rollins is apparently now is injured now. And apparently the plan was to do the breakup like next year, but because of the injury, they had to pivot. This is this 2015 all over again? Because
Where we'll have to forfeit the championship.
Seth Rollins was riding high in 2015. He had the heist of the century, good title defense and all that stuff. And literally towards the end of the year, and then he gets hurt. And it's kind of like 10 years all over again. And then, not saying that this year hasn't been good. This has pretty much has been his year. And now all of a sudden now he gets hurt again.
Yeah, that's the main story that's been coming out the last few days, that he's legit hurt. I think there was even a photo of him like with a
In a
fan,
sling.
like yeah, like in a sling.
Yeah.
And yeah, just considering the way that they rushed this and the way this like all played out, it does seem like he might be legit hurt. And if that's the case, and he has to like miss a significant amount of time, it's looking like he's gonna forfeit the championship. And ironically
Man.
enough, this his last title reign that he won through cashing in Money in the Bank, he had to forfeit the title. And now this one, it's looking like he's gonna have to forfeit the title.
Yeah. All like reminiscent of 10 years ago. And it's sad because the vision was what created like during the summers, and it didn't even last that long. And I kind of see this stable as like similar to evolution. The whole point is to build your younger talent up for the next step. That's the whole point of it, right? And they weren't even together. They weren't even with each other, that long. And the breakup happens. Evolution were
But
with each other for a while, a long time before everybody, split up. But this one, man, it's a
but the
bummer.
one thing I did notice in recent weeks, especially like since like Rollins was spending more time with Becky Lynch on screen, Heyman has a better chemistry with Breakker and Reed than he does with Rollins.
Yeah, and a lot of
And it kind
people
of feels
were,
like it clicks more with them as opposed to what
yeah,
Rollins is with all of them.
and a lot of people were, saying how like it needed to end because like there really wasn't any like chemistry between Seth and Paul Heyman, because Seth is really not inventing himself or being like a different person because of Paul. And
Yeah,
yeah, I get
exactly.
that. Yeah, I get that, but I do. Um, I think the only time where I actually saw like a very deep interaction between the two was that going home episode of Raw before Crown Jewel, when they were in the locker room and he asks him like, "Dude, keep it real with me. What's gonna happen if I don't beat Cody?" That was like the only time where I actually saw like them two like emotionally interact with each other. But you are right. Paul Heyman's usually was just really interacting with Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed more than Seth. So that, point granted, point taken right there.
Yeah, but still a great swerve. Think the way they played it out was really well done with the copyright box on the screen. You're thinking the show's over, then all of a sudden Breaker attacks him, and then Breaker kind of like threatens Reed, saying either you're with me or you're not. The choice is yours, and then
Mm,
Reed decides to go along with it. He also gives that same ultimatum to Heyman, and Heyman reluctantly went along with it. So now it looks like we have a new version of the Vision, and I'm all here for it. Because we've been
yeah,
complaining for a while that Raw and the WWE product's been a little too predictable, and they've been playing it safe a little too much. But here, they did not play it safe at all, and I
no.
like it.
And you're asking yourself, what the hell is going to happen next Monday?
Yeah, that's the best thing about what happened here, and that's the best thing you can do as far as your product goes, is to create scenarios where the fans can't wait to tune in the following week to see what happens next.
Cliffhangers. That's the whole point of storytelling and entertainment, not just in wrestling but all shows. You have to give your audience a cliffhanger to keep them guessing and ask questions about, hey, what's going to happen. And I can't wait what's going to happen next Monday, but not just with Raw but also with SmackDown. Like, look, yeah, we know that Cody Rhodes was going to lose, but what's going to happen moving forward now? What's going to
He'll
happen on
probably get back
SmackDown?
into his He'll probably get back into his feud with Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton will probably be involved too, so we'll probably see more of that develop in the coming weeks. And yeah, as far as the title situation with Rollins, if he's like forced to forfeit the championship, that creates a scenario where there's no champion, and with Punk being the number one contender and Breaker basically being the one to hold up the title, like after attacking Rollins, maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night's main event. Maybe it's Saturday night's main event. They do Punk and Breaker for the championship.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because before Rollins got hurt, there was the rumor that Punk and Rollins were going to face each other at Saturday night's main event for the title. But now that Rollins is
Hmm.
presumably out, Breaker could be the perfect person to replace him.
Yeah, we'll see. Yep.
Yeah, especially if they're really serious about making Breaker like a top guy and making him a main eventer. They've been saying that in the promos with him for months. So now they're getting the chance to make that a reality.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the way
Crazy.
Raw ended. That's the way Raw ended with Breaker and Bronson Reed turning on Rollins. And yeah, definitely one of the better swerves we've seen this year. And
And
also on
probably
Raw,
and also good episode too, though, because that wasn't the only thing that happened. There was an interaction between Stephanie Valkyrie and Roxanne Perez that is planting the seeds for a potential feud between the two. Roxanne Perez looks like she's going to be the one's going to challenge for that title now, and I like it.
yeah, it's a great feud involving two women who've only been on the main roster not even a year, and it's something
Hmm.
fresh. It's something fresh, something new. Two women who've been proving themselves for months. Yeah, I'm all for that feud. And don't be surprised if Roxanne Perez ends up taking the title from her.
Maybe, I don't know. You got to remember Liv Morgan.
That's
Because
exactly why, because when Liv Morgan comes back, she's likely going to feud with Roxanne Perez. And let's say Liv Morgan comes back to win the Royal Rumble and Roxanne's the champion at the time, you have a ready made match for WrestleMania.
true. And what about where does leaves Raquel Rodriguez at though? Because Liv is going to look at Raquel, be like, okay, I thought me and you were cool. Why are you? You know what I mean? Why did you replace me as a tag team partner and all that stuff? So we can't leave out Raquel Rodriguez as well. So we'll see what happens when we cross that bridge, and I can't wait for it. Just a lot of questions and answers. So
Yeah, a lot to see happen in the coming months. And Dominic Mysterio also on Raw, who got a monster babyface reaction despite being a
as
damn
always,
heel.
as always,
Defeated
yeah, I love it.
defeated Penta in a good match after Rusev got involved. Rusev tried to come out, but then Penta took him out. But then as Penta took him out, the referee was distracted. So Dominic Mysterio grabbed the hammer from the timekeeper's area and hit Penta with it. Followed that with a 619 and a frog splash to retain his title. But now Dominic must face Rusev in a rematch next week. And we all know how
Ooh,
that's going to turn out.
oh my god, yeah, because he
I see
demanded
Penta getting involved.
Rusev Rusev winning the demanded a rematch. And he was just like, he's gonna face the winner between either Dom or Penta. So my god.
Yeah, so we have that match next week. Penta is more than likely going to get involved in the outcome of that,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's probably going to lead to a triple threat between the three of them. I believe probably a Saturday night's main event.
can't wait for it.
Yeah, and also Rhea Ripley defeated Kairi Sane in a one-on-one match, but after the match, Io got laid out by getting hit into the post by Asuka, and then Rhea was gonna like hit Asuka with the riptide through the announce table, but then Kairi attacked her with a kendo stick, and then Asuka hit her with a devastating DDT onto the announce table in her own home country
Ooh,
at that.
wow. Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun scenarios that could play out with this. Obviously, we want to see EO against Asuka at some point. Maybe we'll see that at Saturday night's main event. But eventually, especially with what happened on Raw Monday, where Asuka slapped Kyrie backstage again after she blamed her for the loss of Crown Jewel, I think that we get Kyrie and Asuka possibly at WrestleMania if they play
Mm.
that story out long enough.
I told you, Kyrie's just not really happy about what she's doing, so it's gonna push her to the limits.
Yeah, Asuka's bullying the shit out of her. That's messed
Oh
up.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that's been a fun story. Yeah, that's been a fun story that's been playing out, and we're gonna see it more develop in the coming weeks. And also, we saw more of the split personality of Bailey as her and Lyra Valkyria teamed up against Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. And there was one point where Lyra slapped Bailey, and that like changed the expression on Bailey's face real fast to the point where she had that evil smile on her face, and then she started whooping the ass of both Raquel and Roxanne single-handedly, and that led to Bailey and Lyra picking up the win in the match. So I feel like now this is going to be like the main spot they do in every match between Bailey and Lyra when they team up, where Lyra slaps her to kind of get her into that zone, and that helps them win the match. So yeah, I'm liking where they're going with this. I could even see them winning the women's tag team titles at some point. And also, this is a singles match I can see happening at WrestleMania if they want to stretch it out long enough. It has the
yeah.
potential to be stretched out long enough.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yeah. And also, Jimmy and Jay continue to have their issues as Jay was talking about how he couldn't go out with Jimmy to the ring because he had his triple threat coming up and he didn't want to take the chance of getting hurt like he did in Clash in Paris when he tried to help out Roman. And then Jimmy took it the wrong way, saying, "Oh, so you don't think I can handle it on my own? You don't think I could do the match on my own?" And then Jay was like trying to explain himself. And then Jimmy said, "Nah, you handle your business, I'll handle mine." And then Jimmy came out to the ring to face Bronson Reed with injured ribs. And considering that Bronson Reed just beat Roman Reigns and Jimmy was injured, there was no way that Jimmy was winning this match, and he did not because he tried to
Oh,
lift up Bronson Reed, and then Reed fell on top of him, and Reed hit him with the tsunami to get the win. And then Breakker came out and they double teamed Jimmy some more. And then Jay came out to his rescue. And even though Jay came out to Jimmy's rescue, Jimmy was not happy about it. And that led to another argument between the twin brothers.
bruh. I look, like I said, I don't know what's gonna happen between these two, and more importantly with Roman. And it's just a lot of questions and answers have to be addressed. And look, we got Survivor Series on horizon, so ooh.
Yeah, lot of questions to be answered. I saw the leaked teams for both War Games matches. I don't know if it's going to be for sure, but we'll see if it does
Mm,
turn out that way.
hmm
If Rollins is really hurt, then obviously he's out. I don't know how they'll be replacing him, but this
Yeah,
is still a lot to play out in the next few weeks. But I cannot wait to see how it plays out in the next few
same.
weeks.
Yeah,
And CM Punk had to call out these damn crazy ass fans online once again.
yeah.
And he put up this long post on social media yesterday saying, I can't believe I have to talk about this again. I've asked people nicely, do not follow me at the airport, do not approach me at the airport. That is harassment, that is disrespectful, that's crossing boundaries, and cut that shit out.
I think it wasn't just for him. I think it was just you speaking on the behalf of the whole locker room. He's not the only
Yeah,
one
probably.
who has an issue with that. Rhea Ripley has had an issue with it, of all people.
Oh
Other
yeah, in
wrestlers
Paris,
have
like
too.
during Clash in Paris, yeah, there was that video that leaked of like all the fans like coming at her when she's trying to get into her Uber. Like they were all coming up to her and like putting their phones in her face. Yo, that is not cool, son. That is not
Yeah,
cool. That's not being a fan. That's harassment. That's crossing
I
people's
know.
boundaries. And yo, that shit is mad disrespectful.
You got to remember these wrestlers are human, just like everybody else. Do they have a life, and which means they have privacy, just like everybody else. Respect it. So I don't blame.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
saw that. I saw that post, and I don't blame Punk for saying it. He said it nicely, but now he's like, "Look, I shouldn't have to explain it the second time." So,
yeah, he even said a few weeks ago, like if he's at a show, like if he's at a show at the arena, he'll like more than be happy to sign autographs, take pictures with fans, and all that good stuff. But if he's at the airport, if he's at his private time when he's not at work, then leave him the fuck alone.
mhm.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah,
enough. Also, Andrade, who debuted on AEW TV. We didn't talk about this on the show last week, but Andrade did debut on AEW TV 2 weeks ago. But since then, he's been pulled from AEW television and has not been mentioned. And come to find out, WWE sent in a cease and desist because of the fact that Andrade is apparently under a non compete clause since his release last
stupid.
month.
Stupid. So then, one person was saying this too, and I agree with him. Who was a fan, saying how like, okay, so you release him, get rid of him, right? Go somewhere else, and you're saying that you telling him that you can't compete, but he's not with your company.
Well, certain times when they release talent, they're under like a 90-day non compete clause. Apparently, from what it came out about, the Andrade release last month, it was that he was under no non compete, like he was just fired, so he was free to go wherever he wanted. And now all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden, he's not free to go wherever he wants. And so
Mm.
these 90 days are up.
Yeah, that still though, what that
Yeah, very odd,
doesn't make
very
any sense.
strange.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but funny enough, it's crazy that Andrade is the first person to go from WWE to AEW to WWE back to AEW.
Back and forth.
Madness. But we'll see how this comes out in the next few weeks. But if it's true that he's under like a non-compete and whatnot, he won't be back on TV and won't be back to be able to do stuff outside of WWE until the beginning of 2026.
Oh yeah, 90 days. That's 3 months.
Yeah, just about.
Wow.
Did you see that video that Mick Foley posted yesterday about Trump, like sending that message to Trump about stopping the madness?
I mean, yeah, but it's like I mean, it's really nothing new. I mean, especially with I've been hearing more about the nonsense about people still complaining about Bad Bunny performing a halftime show for the Super Bowl next year, to the point where they're like, I don't know, Fox News is gonna have their own little halftime show. I'm like, okay, good luck with that. Like
Who
people are really
gives a
like,
fuck? Who gives a
yeah,
fuck about no Fox News halftime show or Fox News period? Racist
right.
pieces of shit.
Like they're like anybody's gonna pay attention to that though. But yeah, it's not a surprise. And it's just him Mick being upfront and honest, and I don't blame him for saying it. And you know,
Yeah, a lot of wrestlers have been coming out and speaking out against the whole Trump regime and also the ICE raids. Even Hangman Adam Page got pissed off that they aired an ICE commercial during Dynamite a couple weeks ago. He called it out.
oh wow,
Yeah, he was not happy about that. He's been very
Yeah,
vocal about like the whole ICE raids and like everything going on with that right now. He's been very against that. And yeah, he was not happy with the fact that they aired an actual commercial for them during Dynamite.
that's stupid. They actually had commercials for that. I did not know that.
Yeah, and I see people trying to take pictures with these
God,
dudes and people complaining that they're not getting fed, like the ICE dudes aren't getting fed and people are refusing service to them in restaurants. I'm like, yo, good. Yeah, because from everything we see, these people are not the good guys.
yep.
Yeah, and the people who try to defend them and try to sugarcoat everything they do, they are also not the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's another story. But yeah, like a lot of people have been calling out like yeah, the whole regime and yeah, what Trump's been doing or not been doing, as he's been spending more time beefing with, late night talk show hosts and celebrities than actually doing his damn job and the government shutdown. Honestly, it would make me so happy if Mick Foley did the Mr. Socko to Trump. That shit would have me dying.
Yeah.
Shove it down his damn throat. Then he can't
Right.
talk. Yo, but did you see the highlights of that Team 3D and Hardy Boys match from this past
Oh my
Sunday?
god. Just emotional, man. And I'll have to say that that was the right team to have your final wrestling match with. The perfect team to do it. A team that great feud with, 25 years ago, 25 years in the making. And that's this you couldn't write it any better than this. Very emotional at the end of the match, hugging with each other. I love the spot where Jeff Hardy did a swamp time from the ladder onto the table to Devon, just like old times. But yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, I
And
like that they
because
hugged
of
it out
that,
afterwards.
yeah,
And
and
the
the Dudley
Dudleys, the Dudleys
boys,
gave the Dudleys gave the Hardys their boots after the match
yeah,
too. That was a nice gesture.
yeah. And as a result of that, yeah, the Dudley boys are officially retired. That was their last wrestling match, and what a just a poetic way and a great way to ride off in the sunset to have your final match with one of your greatest rivals ever, the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. It was a great weekend for wrestling. I'm happy that they got to have that final match against each other. And yeah,
Mhm.
not enough good things you could say about it. One of the greatest, two
Yeah,
of the greatest teams to ever do it. And yeah,
yeah.
the Dudleys will definitely be missed.
I just wish that it would have been cooler if Edge and Christian were there too in that match if they weren't, in AEW though. That would have been, oh my god.
Yeah,
That
it's
whoa.
funny during
Whoa.
during the post match panel for Crown Jewel. Triple H was talking with everybody, and they were chanting "We want Edge." Like the fans behind them were chanting "We want Edge," and then Triple H said, "You can't have him," and then the fans started singing the Edge theme song, the "On This Day I See Clearly." They were like singing the whole lyrics to it, and then they were also chanting like fuck Saudi," and
Yeah.
like bring WrestleMania here. Good.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I forgot to tell you? Uh that what's his name? What a Riyadh season. What's his name? The one responsible for bringing the events to Saudi Arabia. What's his name?
I don't know. What about him?
But you know who I'm talking about, right?
I think I have a feeling of who you're talking about. I think I saw some of the comedians like Andrew Schultz and Chappelle take a picture with him recently. If that's the same
Yeah,
guy, what
yeah. But
about him?
they booed him during the Canelo and Crawford fight last month.
I saw that. Yeah, I did see that.
Yes, and I said to myself,
And yet
I
they
don't
cheered for
blame him
Trump.
for booing him.
And yet they cheered for Trump.
Don't blame him. I mean, like, dude, you had to bring WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and if you're gonna bring it to Saudi Arabia, you deserve the backlash from the fans that you get with it.
Horrible. You go from bringing WrestleMania to at first, oh, it's going to be in New Orleans. Then a month later, you're going to like, oh, we're going to bring it back to Las Vegas because apparently it's financially was doing so great that we had to bring it back. And you're not smart enough to think about, well, guess what? WrestleMania did very well financially in New Orleans the last two times. And that was a big slap in the face for you to tell them that we'll have it in New Orleans next year, but you're going to take it away from you. And now you go from there to we're going to have WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia in 2027. Look, I respect the fact that the Middle East is improving. It's getting better. Cool. I like that. But you got to remember, not everybody's feel comfortable to travel over there.
No, not at all. And even the talent themselves look miserable in that damn like announcement and press conference where they,
Yeah.
broke the news.
Yes.
Yeah, if the talent doesn't want to go, you think the fans are gonna want to go too?
Oh, I could see if they had it in London. If you're going to have it in a different country outside of the US, London deserves it. Of all the cities in another country that deserves it is London, for goodness sakes. But Saudi Arabia?
Hell, even Puerto Rico, I think would deserve it more.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mexico, anywhere else, but that's another story. But yeah, is what it is. That's just, I guess, the way things are right now. But hopefully, they can get better in some ways. Fingers crossed. But with
Yeah.
that being said, my brother, is there anything else you want to get into today?
Oh, not at all. Yeah, we just it was a just amazing, crazy week. I know you had a great week, and I can't wait
Yeah,
for
I did.
SmackDown. I can't wait for Raw, and yeah, it's just things are looking up. Things are looking up. We had
Yeah,
our
they are.
doubts. We had our doubts these past, couple months, few months though, but things are looking up and getting better. So, and I can't wait for it, and I can't wait to talk about what's going to happen after next week.
Yeah, so follow us on our social media pages, subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on Spotify, leave comments under the episodes. We love to debate and discuss with you any of the topics we talk about on this show in a healthy way. Keep word healthy way. Always remember that. So, yes, until next time, for John Randall, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of Clash of Champions. Take care, enjoy your weekend, and remember, do not be an asshole in real life or social media because that toxic bullshit is for the birds.
And ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay blessed, and always stay adventurous.
Yes, indeed, especially in the bedroom. Have a good one.